Hey everyone, how are we doing today? We are back for another weekly vlog, a week in my life as someone that runs their own company, as a researcher, a historian. Hi, I'm Madeline. If you're new here, I'm the founder of Rooted in Place, a historical and educational consulting company. I do things like guided tours, lectures, workshops online, and a lot of social media historical education. For those that follow me on Instagram, you know we are in Project Heaven right now, the month of July. We have finished up a conference. We did the Gettysburg 163rd Battle Anniversary and America 250. The celebrations are done. So we did a lot of travel recently. The month of July, not really going anywhere, thank goodness. So I get to really hunker down and get a lot of these bigger projects done. So it's July 6th right now. It's Monday, the day after the holidays. And I've spent the morning doing a lot of admin work. A lot of emails to send out. I'm on my email and on my phone all weekend because I work on weekends too with my company. No days off. But I did wait until Monday to send out some critical emails to people because I know they're not going to be at their desk until this morning. So there was no point in sending it earlier where it would get lost in their inboxes. I'm not usually a super duper early riser. I have been historically. I remember in college and in grad school getting up at 4 a.m. And getting like a couple hours of work done. But that was when I was teaching history full time and I wouldn't come back home until like 6 p.m. So those morning hours were really my time to, number one, just like have some time to myself, but also get the majority of my work done. But nowadays, since I don't have business hours per se, I can answer an email at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. And I do not have set working days. Some days I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I don't work Thursday, Friday. Others, I'm working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday straight. It just depends on my guided tour schedule, my lecture schedule, any site visits or collaborations that I'm doing. So I pick and choose really when I get up early. There's some days I'm like, I have to get up at 5 because my day is just so jam-packed. I'm not gonna have time for this. And there's other days I choose to wake up a little bit later, 7 or 8. But I will stay up later. I'll be working till 8 p.m., 9 p.m., or even 10 p.m. So that's the beauty of being a freelancer, to being your own boss, but it also kind of means you do have to go by the schedule that you have and the schedule of the day. So it does change a lot, and that does throw me off sometimes. So what's going on today, Monday? It is currently around 9:30 in the morning. Again, I've been up since 5:30 because I've had to do a couple hours of work. I'll be heading out shortly to head into Old Town Alexandria, the historic area. I am meeting with Visit Alexandria at the Visitor Center for more collaboration. I'm a member of Visit Alexandria. It's like one of the main tourism boards and organizations. And then in the afternoon, I'm meeting someone I met at an academic conference in June who's local, and we're going to talk about collaborations and all things history. And then this evening, I actually have something fun, something completely not history related. I signed myself up for, you guys are going to laugh, it is a like 4-week festive fiction writing class. So it's about holiday fiction, writing about the holidays. So like think about cozy mysteries, maybe holiday romances, things like that. I like writing very much, and I don't have time to write my fiction works. I'm in the middle of writing so many lectures, so many articles, but also my second book is a biography, a nonfiction work, and that's in the works as well. So the little time I have left for writing just goes back into nonfiction. And so I decided for myself as a little like summer treat after all the hard work I've been putting in to my business, let's just do some holiday themed things like a Christmas in July type deal. So again, it's only a month long, meets once a week. So the first session is tonight and we're super thrilled. Hey everyone, we're back from our meetings and it was a very humid day out, so my hair got a little frizzy. We changed into some more comfy clothes because it's 4 o'clock and we're spending the rest of the evening doing some work. While I was waiting for my lunch meeting, I did a lot of work with my War of 1812 lecture. I went down this rabbit hole about the symbology in poems and songs published during the war, since my focus is on nationalism, the rise of nationalism, or the, I guess, extension of patriotism during the war. and of songs and poems are great mediums for expressing it, especially in this kind of early Republic era. So I went down this rabbit hole and found so many. And it's funny because, like, I bet you guys who have worked in coffee shops have experienced this before, where if you're researching something kind of like dark or morbid, or if it's like a battle or something like gory, or just like about something that's not happy, people next to you kind of watch you do it. And I wasn't like mad about that, but no one really researches like War of 1812 music. And so I found like, I think they weren't like staring, I think they were just firmly interested in just what I was looking at, which is really fun. So it kind of gave me more of like that, like the motivation to get the work done, because now people are like watching me. So life hack, if you're having trouble focusing, go to a cafe, because people will not leave you alone. So my game plan is to do this for about another hour. Since I have a lot of tabs up, like when I left the coffee shop, I had a bunch of different resources like just tabbed. Now I need to actually put them into my sources database and plan when I'm going to incorporate them, to analyze them. And then I want to move into finishing up my workshop PowerPoint slides. I have a workshop coming up this Sunday. I'll have links to everything below if you want to register. I provide kind of genealogy 101 type courses and virtual history club sessions, book clubs, and things like that. There's not much left to do. I just want to polish it up and then see it again with fresh eyes to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys in a bit. Friends, it is the next day, Tuesday, July 7th. I'm in the same dress because later today I am getting my engagement photo shoot done, and I figured why put on a brand new outfit just to go out for an hour and then have to get all changed and dolled up later this afternoon. So for the first part of today, I'm going to a local library to collaborate on programming, kind of similar to yesterday, potential like genealogy programs, lectures, ways that my company can collaborate with the public library, etc. So I'm very excited about that. Our massive heat wave that we had here in the DC area, it's on its way out. We're just having these like massive storms every day. So it's really humid out. It's also very dark. But I'm just very excited for my air conditioner to stop running 24/7. So I have about an hour before I leave. I did some work this morning, and I have been such a slow reader. This has been a huge problem for me lately. My issue is I am purchasing, borrowing from the library, and being sent a lot of books all at once. I've been very privileged and fortunate to have connected with a lot of publishers who are sending me books for review, which I love those books. At the same time, I also have a lot of books that, as you guys know, when all the books on hold at the library become available at the same time, yeah. And then I take my, twice a week, oh my gosh, once every 2 weeks trip to Barnes & Noble, and I buy a book here and there. So there are just some books, actually, I have to return to the library today that I never got a chance to read because I'm just not able to keep up, because I'm prioritizing, of course, the books for review, because those are gifted, and then the library books become like second tier. So we're gonna spend the next hour making our way through Snow Falling on Cedars by David Gutterson, which I love this book. It is so good. I wish I could read it faster. It's due back next week. And again, I love it. I just haven't made the time to read my books as much as I should. And, I know there are some people who can relate to that and others who can't, and that's okay. When I have free time, I usually fall into one of 4 categories of activity. One, I continue doing work for my company, which never ends, as many of you know. It's not like I finish a task and then that's it for the day. There's always something to be done, to be planned. 2, I'm making content. So Instagram content, YouTube videos, things like that. 3, I study my foreign languages, which is my big hobby. I do my other hobbies, like creative writing. And then 4, I read. So there are 4 options for me when I find myself having free time, which again is not often. I usually just default to working on my business. There's something, I guess, innate in me that if I have time and I'm not making the business better, bigger, badder, I feel like I'm behind. And I know a lot of people can relate to that with their research or maybe their schoolwork, or like, if I have time, it should be put towards my job, right? So reading has been just low on the list. And so I've gotten the books to review, those have been good, but the other books I'm interested in kind of fell by the wayside. A little sad about that. So I have to take some back to the library today, and we'll probably borrow them later when I have more time. Absolutely. Hey friends, I'm doing a car check-in today. How exciting. I'm headed to my 4th collaboration meeting this week, kind of back to back. I'm heading into downtown Washington, so I'm parked at Metro. I'm going to take 3 different Metro lines to get there. It's near a Metro stop. I'm just on one of like the farthest stops away, which is really unfortunate. And some of you have asked me, what do I do at these collaboration meetings? And it's really to see how my company, Rooted in Place, can assist with anything their institution or organization is doing, whether it's like a lecture series, genealogy programs, guided tours, exhibits. It really just depends on the institution. So I've been to some museums, some libraries, tourism boards, things like that. So I don't limit myself to just history-based places. Sometimes it's community centers. Sometimes it is just local initiatives or local societies and things like that. That way I can reach the most people, and people who may be interested in history and don't realize it. So that's what I mean by the collaborations, but I hope to talk to you guys later. Bye. Friends, how are we doing? It is Thursday around 2 o'clock. I spent the morning working on some admin as well as making the PowerPoint slides for my upcoming virtual history club. And for those who are like, what is this virtual history club? Essentially, every month we have a dedicated prompt. So for example, this month, July, were the American colonists right to rebel? And it is not a lecture, it is a discussion group. And it's totally fine if you know nothing about this topic or if you're a history buff who loves this topic. The idea is for us to examine, of course, like in this instance, the causes of the revolution, why the colonists were grieving, what were they expressing to the British Crown, and then, were they in the right to do so? Kind of debating, playing devil's advocate at times. There'll be primary sources, maps, videos, and things. So I was making all the content for that. And there's one every month. So for example, in August, we're talking about the Red Scare and if it really drove away communism in the United States. So I like to mix it up every month and kind of change the time period, change the vibe, the mood. So I'll include a link down below if you guys are interested in registering. But that's what I was spending the morning on. Now every day this week, I've gone somewhere different. Monday, I went into Old Town Alexandria to collaborate with the tourism board, meet with a colleague. And then Tuesday, I went to the City of Falls Church to work with the library system there. And then yesterday, you guys came with me as I took Metro to go downtown to collaborate on some exhibit projects. And today is actually more about just friendship and fun. Not like the other things weren't fun, but this is purely fun. Tonight, I'm going with some friends to one of Mount Vernon's free book talks, which is so exciting. They do these all the time. And I'm going to take you guys along. Luckily, I'm very fortunate to live only about 15-20 minutes from Mount Vernon, so it's very easy for me to get to these events and for me to have found such awesome history friends who also like sitting in book talks and lectures and going on tours is great. So we had a busy first 3 days of the week. Today is just about kind of relaxing and having fun, and then tomorrow is more just admin, working on a lot of stuff, continuing with the War of 1812 lecture, of course. There is an aspect of the War of 1812 lecture I will need to get done by Monday because that's the deadline, and that is the kind of downloadable materials that I'm going to have available for these teachers who are in attendance. I need to send that actually to the American Battlefield Trust by Monday so that they have that all set up, ready to go for all the participants. So while I'm doing the PowerPoint stuff and the lecture script still, I already have some ideas in mind of what I want to make available for the teachers. So some of my ideas are like a reading list of things they can use in the classroom. Part of what I'm going to be talking about is symbolism in sheet music and in poems. So like a curated list with links, or just like a packet essentially of some things they can print out for their students. I'm also toying with the idea, I'm not sure how many resources I'm allowed to have, but I definitely want to do a Star Spangled Banner kind of analysis worksheet, because when I was a teacher, I loved teaching the Star Spangled Banner when I taught the War of 1812, because that was such an easy connect for students, because everyone knows the national anthem. And so kind of breaking down the verses in the original poem, which was called, by the way, The Defense of Fort McHenry. That's the original title. So yeah, that is something I'm going to be working on tomorrow, because I do not want to do it the day before. That's a lot. So I'll get that done tomorrow. But that's the lay of the land. That's the lay of our Thursday afternoon. I'm going to get back to working on my War of 1812 lecture, though. So I'll see you guys tonight at Mount Vernon. Bye. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this week's vlog. Next week, I'll get back to doing my nonfiction book writing series. We're going to talk about how I learn new things to write my nonfiction book. So if you don't know, I'm writing a biography on a Civil War surgeon, and I need to know more about medical knowledge. So I'm going to make a personal curriculum to learn more about 19th century medicine. So subscribe and stay tuned. Bye!